Hello and welcome to my channel where we discuss the Power Platform. Today's episode I wanted to look at a new feature of Power BI, which is this text CSV by example. Now this came out in August 2020, so it might not be very new depending on when you're actually watching this video. But essentially what we can do is pick up a text or a CSV file and then start extracting the table using examples. So we can start entering what we want to see from there. So for example, you can see in this example, we have a company name, a contact title, and we can start essentially building out a data set like that. So the first thing we need to do is actually come into Power BI and turn on those features. So I have the latest version of Power Apps here. So if I go into my file and then options and settings and then go through to options, as I have the August 2020 release, I can go into my preview features and then turn on import text from examples. And then next what I'll do is I'll get a text or CSV file. Now in my desktop here, I have saved this hex file. And just to show you how that looks to begin with, and actually I'll show you in the notepad here first. Give a second. And you can see here that it's essentially a data set which has the non-control characters defined in 1987. So essentially hex 20 is space, hex 21 is exclamation mark, and I want to turn this into a data set. Now you'll see here that there's a new feature here, extract table using examples. So you can see all this data it's tried to put it into a data set, it's just come into one column. So I'm going to do extract table, and I'll call the first one hex, and the second column description, like this. And then we'll try give it some helpers. Thanks. And you can see here, it's started to pick it up. It's started to actually pick up what all the different ones are. Now, if we have a look at this again, you can see that eventually it goes back to A1, which is another column. So let's make sure that that's gone all the way through. So it's gone up to 7E, which is great. But now we actually need A1. And A1 is the inverted exclamation mark. Okay, and we can try another one, see if that helps. Cent sign. Okay, so it's not actually picking up that second column. And let's try all the rows, see if that helps. So we'll try one more. A3, pound sign, okay, so it's not actually picking that up, which is fine. So what we can do here is actually just transform that data. So this is real life modelling and just how data works in general. So let's continue making this work. This can happen in real life, of course. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually split this, because it's not quite picked up exactly what we need, but this has really helped because we're partly on our way. So we'll split the column by a delimiter, and it's clear that whenever you have quite a longer space, you can actually find the next item there, like that. So from here, we know that this hex and this description is okay, so I'm actually going to duplicate this, because I'm going to work on fixing this description too. So if I remove this one, we're ready with this data set here. We just need to fix this one here, and we're going to be working with this this column here. So I'm actually going to use a column from the examples, so from the selection. And what I do want is Power BI to realise that I don't actually want any trailing spaces. So if I just go like that, and it's fixed all of that for me, which is great. It's done a trim. I don't want that null one either, so I'm going to get rid of that. And now I want to split, and I can get rid of this as well, so I can remove this column as it's no longer needed. And now I can split this column by the number of characters. So I actually want to split it by 2, just the once. So that's pretty clean at the moment. It's definitely getting there. So I'm going to rename this as hex and rename this as description, as that's how the rest of our data is called. And now my last step here is I'm going to append this with the other file. And let's just check description. That's called description 1, so I can pick it up. Now they have the same name, and now I can append queries. So the dataset that does need to have the same column name. And that's pretty neat. The only thing is there's still a trailing space there. So let's just quickly fix that. And we can transform and then format and trim, and that's essentially trimmed off any trailing starting spaces. So that's looking nearly good. There's a blank one there, which I don't really want. Apart from that, it looks good. And if we have a quick look at our data set, we should always come back to check. A1 is first, which is okay. That's just an ordering thing. So you've got inverted exclamation mark. If we go down a little bit and find our 20 is space. And now our data set is clean. We don't actually need this one. We can't delete it as such, but we don't want to enable load. So I'm going to call this hex file final, and there you are, with a combination of using the new Power BI feature and also quite a bit of manipulation, but that's part of data and how we get things to work. I really hope you enjoyed that. That's a bit of a real example, really, of how modelling can be done in Power BI. If you like what you see, do subscribe below, and I look forward to seeing you in more of my videos. Thank you.